This video is going to be a film study look at the impact that Julian Love had across the width and the depth of the field for the Seattle Seahawks in their Week 1 win over the Broncos. The defense was utterly dominant for 3 3/4 quarters. Bo Nix ended up having 2 scrambles late, including a touchdown scramble up the right sideline, able to pull the Broncos within 26-20. But generally, the Seahawks defense, I thought, was totally in control. And even at a time when the offense was self-destructing, special teams was a factor as well. Julian Love had an interception, a game high, I think 12 tackles, multiple plays at or near the line of scrimmage. The Seahawks safeties and nickel corners, nickel DBs, played well coming downhill anyway. Multiple guys had tackles. Wallace, Rayshon Jenkins, not just Julian Love, and Devon Witherspoon, who you would expect. We're going to get right into the film. This will be my first Seahawks film study of the year. And this one, I think, this tells you how fast this defense is going to play. Screens I will tell you that Mike McDonald's defense had trouble against things like this at times with the Baltimore Ravens. We had difficulty defending screens to quads. And what I mean by quads is you've got 3 wide receivers down here and then a running back releasing to the trip side. And Julian Love, if you didn't know, is all the way back here as a half-field safety. Great job, I think, by Dotson setting this tight end inside. And then Julian Love is flying out of here. Going to fit on the inside here once Dotson makes Jamal Williams cut it back up inside. Or McLaughlin, cut it back up inside. Ends up being a tackle for a loss of 2. The second possession. Third possession, Love is boundary side safety. Sometimes field side safety. In this case, he's to the field, walks down into the box, and this is maniacal pursuit. Multiple guys, I thought, tackled well. In this case, Tariq Woolen happens to miss a tackle up at the top side of the screen. Williams is a difficult dude to tackle. I first saw him play when the Ravens played the Broncos a couple of years ago, and he carried 2 or 3 guys down the field, but he's going to end up bouncing this outside. Woolen is one-on-one out in space, unable to finish, and Love gets credit for the tackle. He ends up taking a ride, but he plays with incredible effort. The whole defense did yesterday. It looked just like you would expect a Mike McDonald defense to look, just insane pursuit, multiple coverages / stunts being played, and each coverage or stunt was sound, and guys could react fast and come downhill and make tackles, and yesterday they did. Moving forward, fourth possession, it's going to be a nickel blitz. Julian Love is not playing the nickel. He's the field side safety. Again, bottom side of our screen. Witherspoon is the blitzer. It's a twins set by the Broncos down here to the bottom side. You got the running back to that side as well, so running back's going to cross face. McDonald and those guys have decided to bring the nickel at this time. So you're talking about 2-on-2. Out here in space, 2-on-2. Receiver catching the ball. In this case happens to be Josh Reynolds. Number 1 receiver, I believe, is Vele, going to get the corner. Julian Love totally unblocked. It's a 2nd and 6. This is fourth possession. Still to the point here where Seattle's defense is just utterly dominating, even though they were behind at various points 5-3, and then I think 8-3 and 10-9. A beautiful play that I think is emblematic of how they play downhill. Same play, end zone angle, by the way. You guys have to let me know which angle you prefer. All 22 are end zone angles. Sometimes I try to avoid using one or the other depending on if the NFL channel has used one or not. I like the end zone angle for this particular play, and here's why. Because once the camera pans over and you see the space that's there, the help, all of your help, if you're Julian Love, is an inside-out leverage. And so what I saw yesterday for multiple guys was refusal to miss this tackle and let the receiver or running back get to the outside. Basically, use your help. It's common sense. But in this case, there's times in the NFL where guys don't abide by that, where they'll miss the tackle to the inside and the receiver or running back is able to get more space towards the sideline. Beautiful play. Multiple guys were responsible for that. That type of tackle yesterday. Same possession, kind of a double out concept up to the top side of the screen. Julian Love's going to get the interception. You will get 2 out-breaking routes. Deeper one, I think, is Sutton. The Vele a little bit shorter. Perhaps there's not as much space in here as what I just drew up. But you get a nice job by Witherspoon of passing Sutton off to the safety and then getting depth such that he understands Trey Brown is underneath. Look at the layered nature of the coverage there for those guys. It's very rare that you see three DBs, two corners. Well, Witherspoon plays a little bit of everything, nickel, corner, slot, whatever you want to call him. But it's very rare that you get guys stacked like that. The ball was already out by Bo Nix, who stared it down. I thought post snap, Julian Love's able to go get it. He's an interesting player. I find him to be very balanced. You're talking about a guy who, at least yesterday, tackled extremely well and then has the ball skills and the awareness to go get this thing. This is the same play from the end zone angle. Again, it's fourth possession. Early in the game, these teams traded possessions quickly in yesterday's football game. I covered it and did a reaction video. If you're interested in that and you didn't check it out, go ahead and check it out. I'll try to link it up in the description. But take a look at how long Bo Nix, and look, Julian Love is off screen down here to our right. So is Trey Brown, and so is Devon Witherspoon. Staring at it the whole time, not letting the routes develop and then come back to it, and Love just undercuts it. Great ball skills to go on ahead and get the interception. That defense played fantastic at a time when the offense was counterproductive. Going to be an open field tackle. Again, it's a 3 deep, 3 under coverage. I would call it a zone blitz, if you will. Love is up to the top side of the screen. Again, the ball was on the left hash, so he's located to the field. That's why I call him field side safety. And I think it's Vele, the slot receiver, is going to chip down and then release out into the flats. You do get a nickel blitz here, or safety blitz by Rayshon Jenkins. Those guys who blitzed, they were committed yesterday. They were committed to their aggression, and they were committed to taking on blockers. Here's an example. Jenkins, I can't wait to see how he plays because he had some nice moments in Jacksonville, if you ask me. But Love is spinning down here, and as he does, you see it's a 3 deep, 3 under delineation. It's not exactly a zone defense. The reactions can be different depending on the iteration that the defense is using. But this is exactly what Mike Macdonald wants to do. Bring pressure from different places. Force you as the quarterback to go on ahead and release the football now so that guys can see the ball thrown and then go react to it, make the tackle for a short gain. This is a 1st and 10. Another example, he had a tackle for loss early that I showed you on a running back screen or flare. He had a tackle for 3 yards against Josh Reynolds, a big, talented guy. And then this is Vele. This is a tackle for a 2-yard gain. Perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle here. Again, he's the field side safety. I'll illustrate him or spot shadow him here in a moment. You got a missed tackle from the boundary side safety. I think it's Wallace. And this is Julian Love. Maybe it's not a touchdown-saving tackle, but it ends up being a 15-yard gain. It certainly could have been more if Julian Love isn't there. There's no one that he had to deal with necessarily from a blocking standpoint. He looks like a really good tackler to me, based on the film that I've watched, and he looks like a guy who's very balanced against the pass. I have no idea. I don't make judgments based on rating services or 3-letter alphabet words that use a number to encompass how effective a player is. Looks like a damn good football player to me. This is possibly one that could have been called a pass interference for Trey Brown, but I like Trey Brown. I don't know a whole lot about him, but I know that compared to Tariq Woolen and Devon Witherspoon, he's certainly not nearly as talented, but I like the player. I saw him last year against the Lions. I think he got a pick 6 in that game and played quite well. There's a lot of contact up here to the top side between him and Courtland Sutton. I missed a little bit of it, but they're still engaged with each other there. Still contact before the ball was there. Nonetheless, the refs did not call it. Doesn't involve Julian Love, but I wanted to highlight some of the other guys. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this guy's interception. 4th quarter, I think about 6 minutes left. I thought the game was over at this point. Love is down the bottom side of the screen. Doesn't really impact the play necessarily. He is driving on this route to Courtland Sutton, but this is something that, well, Tariq Woolen did this as a rookie. I believe he had an interception or near interception last week on this type of route. It's like the receiver is not someone who's faster than him, and he's going to not just accelerate and catch up to him, but it's like he does it at the right time. He does it usually when the receiver is between the hashes or approaching it. So the quarterback thinks there's an opening, and Bo Nix just probably hasn't seen this before. Tariq Woolen undercuts it. Oh, by the way, Julian Love is also there, possibly to break it up or make a hit on Courtland Sutton. If you watch this video, I'm sure you've probably checked out my content before. I'm a Ravens fan, Ravens content creator, so I have some knowledge of Mike Macdonald's defense. If you'd like to see me break down more Seahawks film, perhaps Tuesday afternoon I could come out with something that would be about the defense. Boye Mafe is one of my favorite players. So I'd be willing to break down some film of the front six or front seven, depending on whether you're in your base defense or your nickel look. I knew yesterday while I was covering the game and doing a reaction video that I was going to do a film study video on Julian Love because he played so exceptionally well. Played decisive, abrupt. Him and Rayshon Jenkins back there, along with a Wallace. I think it's Zach Wallace, but I probably have the first name messed up there, so forgive me for that. It's number 24. Those three guys look interchangeable to some degree. I suspect that Love is going to be a guy who's a little bit more versatile, but Rayshon Jenkins was moved around yesterday. You saw him as a blitzer one time. You saw him in the box, I think, on one of the plays I showed you earlier on. The fun game to watch. I'm guessing as a Seahawks fan, it was not fun to watch the offense at all, but to see the defense fly around, make tackle so well, had to be confirmation. Okay, we got the right guy from a McDonald perspective. I had the feeling that he was going to be calling defensive plays. I didn't read, nor do I have time to read anything prior to week one confirming that, but seeing it yesterday live, not live at the game, but live on television, I was able to recognize, okay, he's covering his mouth, he's making the play call, he's certainly communicating to the inside linebackers on the field. Those guys played fast, incredibly aggressive, really got after Bo Nix. How much of that was the rookie quarterback being on the road in week one? I think that's a factor. But these guys know what they're doing. They're playing multiple coverages. They're bringing pressure from different locations, pretty much forcing the quarterback to get rid of the ball quick or soon. And then guys like Julian Love, Jenkins, Witherspoon, and Wallace can react to it, get downhill, and make tackles and limit the gain to something short that puts you in what I like to call the Mike McDonald blender. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 is going to be a handful for teams that face the Seahawks defense if you can get them there. And that's stopping or slowing down the run early. Nonetheless, I thought Julian Love played a spectacular game. You guys let me know what you think of the video in the comment section. The plays that I chose to illustrate the quality of his performance against the Broncos in week one. If you think other Seahawks fans would enjoy this film study look at Julian Love's play in Sunday afternoon's win over the Broncos, then please consider grabbing a link to this video and sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.